but what do you think are some of the things that help you, being a surfer that apply to business?
I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily like direct lessons that I've applied, but I think as there's a lot of analogies between the two that I think are very helpful. I think one is just in terms of how sales tends to work, which is, you kind of often, a lot of times when people get into sales or they're approaching sales, the idea is like you have to get in front of people to, tell them your amazing solution or how it solves all these problems and how it does all these things. But the truth is, no one cares about any of that. Like people care about their own problems. And so the secret is really to try to identify what are the strategically important problems that this person or this company is having, and can you explain how something you do might solve one of those problems? And if you're able to do that, there's often a lot of energy behind that. Like if you have a CEO of a company that is not able to sleep at night because they have this urgent problem they got to solve, if you're presenting a solution into that kind of environment, it can often go very fast and it can move very quickly. Whereas if you're presenting a solution into sort of a vacuum, it tends to not have that power. And I sort of relate that a lot to surfing, whereas like in surfing, there's these sort of pulses of energy that are coming, and you have to sort of be in the right place at the right time, which is a very tricky thing to do and really takes a lifetime to learn. And if you're in the right place at the right time, it's actually fairly easy to get the wave. But if you're not, it's almost impossible. And so I think about that a lot. I also think about, surfing being something where all of the downsides are front loaded. So, to even get an opportunity to catch a wave, you have to sort of be in pretty good shape and put yourself through all these different challenges before you even get an opportunity. And people think maybe in surfing that like it's about being able to like stand up and get down the wave. But the reality is, that's the easiest part and a very small component of all the things that you need to do to be successful. And I think, as an analogy, that's very correlated to sales, where in sales, typically when you start at it, you're going to be bad. No matter how gifted you are, it's like comedy. You just have to fail at it for a while to get good. And I feel like that they have a correlation there where, people who are willing to kind of deal with all the downsides of surfing, which is, a lot of paddling, a lot of getting, knocked around, a lot of like falling and just looking awkward, is well suited to kind of a life in sales where you have to be courageous and put yourself in challenging situations, and you're going to fail at it a lot, forever, really. And you have to be kind of comfortable in that. And I feel like those two analogies work well as someone who might approach a career in sales.